Hello, it's Izannah week here at A Sweet Remembrance and at my Izannah Walker journal. All week long, starting on September 25th and going through October 1st, I'll be posting some special glimpses of the celebration that the dolls and I are having in honor of Izannah Walker's 202nd birthday. This is something we do every year. I take a little time to just play with and enjoy all of the wonderful dolls that Izannah Walker made that I happen to own, and also to introduce some of the special reproduction dolls that I've made for the birthday celebration. So today what's happening is I spent the morning mixing up the birthday cake that the dolls will be having later on today, and right now it's in the oven and baking. So while that's baking, I've got Tilly Lamb here, and I thought maybe I'd spend just a little bit of time talking to you about Tilly Lamb. Right now she's in her underwear, and she hasn't been wearing her dress. It is her original dress and it's just amazing, but it's getting to be super fragile. It was already falling apart when I got her, and I've had her a couple of years, and it's just continued to deteriorate. Not really anyone's fault or anything. It's the fabric is brown, and a lot of times some of the brown dyes will just eat through the fabric. So she hasn't been wearing it much. She is going to put it back on this one last time for Izannah's birthday celebration, and then also she's going to have a few pictures taken because Monica Bassett is writing a wonderful book all about Izannah Walker's life and her search for information on Izannah Walker and about some of the dolls she's found. And Monica called me and asked if I would send her some pictures of Tilly Lamb, and I'm certainly willing to do that. So we're going to put on our original dress for the birthday celebration, for a photo opportunity for Monica's book, and also then she'll be making her grand farewell in the original dress at the Jenny Lind Doll Show in October in Southbury, Connecticut. We're doing 200 years of dolls in original clothing as our special exhibit. So Tilly Lamb is going to wear her dress, and then it's going to be removed, and I will carefully pack it away and make her a reproduction. And of course the dress will stay with her always and be tagged as her dress. But it's just it's just gotten to the point where she, it's just really literally falling apart. I don't know if you guys can see that, but if you see the holes in the fabric where it's split, it's just really split along pretty much every little fold line from the cartridge pleating and in the bodice. So that's what we're doing today to get ready for the party, because a girl needs to have on her best dress when she's going to a birthday party. I've talked about Tilly Lamb before, but I thought since she's just sitting here in front of me, I might just talk about her a tiny bit more. She's a fairly early example of an Izannah Walker doll, and she's about 20 inches tall. She actually has these amazing feet. These feet are probably the best preserved Izannah Walker doll feet that I've ever seen, and I think that that's mainly due to the fact that for a lot of her life she wore socks and shoes over these painted boots. If you've seen her photo in Your Dolls and Mine and also in the Coleman Encyclopedia, you'll see that she's got actual separate doll shoes on over her feet, and you can't even see the fact that she has painted boots at all, but she does have painted boots, and they're wonderful. So here she is in her chemise, her pantalettes, and her petticoat. If you'll notice, she is very narrow-waisted. She does have a rather small head for a 20-inch tall doll, and she's got those somewhat sizable feet. Her arms are long and they're a little on the chubby side. She has just beautiful, beautiful fingers. She has lovely hands. They're very shapely and they're amazingly well stitched and put together. And then her separate little applied thumb. She's got 2 curls in front of each ear, and then the paint at the back of her head is a little bit worn away and stuff, but it's just a short little fringe. There's looks like there's been a little additional paint on here. She has had some in painting over time. She's not without it, and that happens to a lot of the dolls. And there's her face. It's just a really sweet face. Very thin, tiny lighter lines around her eyes and stuff than some of the dolls have. That very red color on her lips, I'm pretty sure is overpainting. It wouldn't have been that red originally. She has a very narrow little neck, and some of the earlier dolls do. If you've read my article in Antique Doll Collector magazine back in September of 2017 for Izannah's 200th birthday, I did go into all the reasons why I think some dolls are earlier than others, and if you're familiar with that, you can see what I'm talking about here. She's in the article too. So there's still photos for you to see there, and I just thought that everybody would probably like a really good look at her. She's just got the best little face. I'm going to come back kind of, because if you get too close, the lens on your camera sort of distorts the way the faces are. And when you've only looked at them in photos and not seen them in person, you kind of get this idea that the head is bigger than it is, and that the eyes are larger and the features are all larger. But that's just really the camera lens. It's the dolls, they are children. They are meant to be children, so they do have, you know, sort of larger heads and bigger eyes than adults would, but they're not proportionally quite the way that you would sometimes see them from just, think about them from just seeing photographs. So if I come back a little bit further, maybe she'll look a little bit more like what she does when I see her, not through the camera lens. Now, her name is Tilly Lamb, and I don't really know how she got that name, but I have to thank Monica Bissett for pointing out to me that her name, that she had a name and that it was Tilly Lamb. It's the name that she was listed as in Your Dolls and Mine, and also so that's clearly what she was being called when that was written in the early 1950s. I actually didn't know that she had a name, and so when I got her a couple of years ago from the estate auction of Anime Cases dolls, I named her Josephine after one of my great-grandmothers, who was Henrietta Josephine Walker. Excuse me, no, wrong grandmother. Henrietta Josephine Wallace Prather. One of my great-grandmothers on my mom's side was a Walker. When I have all the little Izannahs around, it's kind of hard not to throw all those Walkers in there. It just kind of comes to the tongue automatically. But Henrietta Josephine Wallace Prather is who this doll is named after. So I call her Tilly J. Lamb now that I realized that she had a previous name. So it just kind of melded everything together. I think Tilly is telling me that it's about time to get dressed because she can smell that cake in the oven, and it's probably going to be time for us to pull that out of there soon. So we're going to finish up here and say thank you for joining us today. She's getting ready to put this dress on, and maybe I'll just take just half a second to show you some of the special features of the dress. This dress has chain stitching at the waist and the bodice, the top of the bodice, and also at the top of the sleeves, where the sleeves are cartridge pleated. Then there's chain stitching over the rows of cartridge pleating, which is kind of a cool thing, and it's sort of unusual. You don't really see that very often. It's, in fact, I've never seen it on another dress. There's also chain stitching on the growth tuck, so that's sort of a very unusual thing to see on the dress of one of the Izannahs. That's what makes it stand out so much, and that's why everybody notices it and can tell from the photographs, even the black and white photographs, that this is the same dress. The other thing that's quite unusual about it is it has an incredibly narrow hem. They usually don't have a hem like this at all. Usually there's a deep hem. I've actually not ever seen one with such a tiny narrow hem before. And it is a precious dress, and I have made reproductions of this dress for other dolls. So what's going to happen is I'll just go through my stash of antique fabrics and find a brown that has a more stable dye so that it will hold up for a longer period of time, and then I will just remake her a new dress. But I thought that you might enjoy just taking a quick look at this one last time before we're done here and say goodbye. You'll notice I'm not wearing gloves. The current thinking is that freshly washed hands actually are better for antique fabrics and antique pieces than the white cotton gloves. So that's one of those new things, you know. We're constantly learning about care and conservation and all kinds of things, and sometimes the standards change. So what I do is I wash my hands immediately before touching any of the dolls and their clothing, and remove all of the dirt and oils from my skin, and then I handle the fabrics and the dolls. So like I said, I can smell that cake until he is making very impatient gestures at me that she would truly like to get dressed this morning, because she's got things to do. She wants to gather a bouquet of flowers and help set the table for the party. So we're going to say goodbye, and thank you for joining us here on my Izannah Walker journal for Izannah Walker's 202nd birthday celebration. Bye.